Hi everybody, Jo here again. How are you doing? I hope you're keeping okay and I hope your new week has started well. Now today I thought we'd have a little catch up. This was one of the demos that I did at our lovely fairy festival using the gel press. So we're going to get Roland, the round gel press out, and we're going to have a bit of a play with him. And I want to show you how, even with the dark background, the beautiful clean colour pens colour over the top. When I first stamped this, when I made the background, I thought I was going to have to decoupage our lovely sunflower and bee, but I haven't. I've just coloured them straight on that background. So I hope you're going to enjoy watching this and then maybe have a play. You know, I always love to see what you create. So, time to pop the kettle on, plump up your cushions, and we're going to start. Now, I've got myself some of this lovely, and this is the 7x7 multifarious card, and I've got a couple of pieces there ready. It's always good to have your cardstock ready because with the gel press, I don't know about you, but I do tend to make background after background. Don't get it out very often, but when I do, I realise how much I enjoy using it and want to use it more and more. So the colours of elements, and if you remember, Tracy had the elements specially made because they're high in pigment and low in water, so they're perfect for the gel press. We're going to use Truffle and Sahara. And you're also going to need a stencil, and I've got the Honeycomb just because it goes beautiful with our Bumble and Hum. So we'll start off with Truffle, and I've got my brayer, and I always put my ink pad on the side, and I'm only going to ink up this part of the brayer. And you don't need a lot, look, just a couple. And I turn my gel press to the side, but that's just me. And remember, go straight across, and you need to, that roller, the brayer needs to move. Don't keep it stiff, it needs to roll. You want to see it spinning. So we'll do the same again, and again, right across, look. There we go. Now, I can just see I've got, don't judge me, but I've got a little Eric hair on here. That'll teach me for putting it on the floor, won't it? I file everything on the floor. Right, that's gone. So we'll just go over that. That's fine. And I'm going to turn it round. Again, ink up, right across. If you get lines, it might be that you're not spinning. You need to spin, and it's a down, spin, and up motion. I would only do that twice like this. If you carry on brayering, I know you might think it's just blending, but it's not. It will take the ink off. So we'll clean that on there. And then what we're going to do now is pop our stencil on. So we'll just move this out a little so you can see. Move it more into the middle. Is that better? Thank you. Whoever shouted, Jo, can you move it? I heard you. Right, I'll pop the stencil on. And what I want to do is take a little bit of the ink out of the middle bits. So with that piece of copy paper, look, I'm just going to rub in the middle. And I find copy paper's better for this because it's thinner than card. So it goes in the stencil a bit better. There we go, look. Nice little shape. And then with my Sahara, and I'm going to use a blending sponge for this, just because in case I get any brown, I don't want to use my actual stencil brush. So this is one of my older, as you can see, well used, well loved. And I'm just going to dab some in the middle. Fabulous. And then, just in case I've taken any colour off the edge, but also to show you if you wanted to add a darker colour around the edge, just another blending sponge and add just a little bit more around the edge. And your stencil almost sort of suctions to the gel press. And then we'll lift that up, and that's perfect now to spritz and pop in my journal. So I'm going to put that to one side. Grab myself that copy of paper. Now a piece of card, and I like to turn mine over. You can pop it on top, but I just like to see it happen. And also I can place it in the centre, look. So I'm going to pop it down. Now you will get a little bit of reflection, just we'll ignore that. But look, can you see how lovely that's looking? And then give it a little rub, peel it off, and look at that. Beautiful. Now what we can do is with the ghost image, the second image, with this, what's so lovely, because we've used truffle, which is quite a dark colour, the second will be perfect for, look at that. Oh, I love that. Look at that air bubble. So we've got the first and second look, that's our ghost print. But what we can also do is take a third look, and this is just to clean the gel press. And that look, and that's how you clean your gel press. Check there's no ink left, and I'm not going to file it next to Mr. Eric, I'm going to pop it over there. But this is also perfect because you can use this to make yourself a lovely mask. And this way you've got an innie and an outie for when it comes for our stamping. So we'll pop that here. And we're going to stamp on, I think, the darker one, just to show you how the lovely pens work. But I can't wait to use that. So we'll file that over there as well. Do you know, we've got a lot of places today filing things, haven't we? Now, that's the thing, you see. You'll be doing this like me, going, oh, which way? I like that way. Right, we're going that way. And this is where this comes in. And we'll start off with our lovely sunflower. And this is sunflower 1. And I'm going to come in with the Nocturne, the black. And we'll ink the sunflower up. And just check this hasn't moved. And we'll stamp the lovely sunflower there. And I always say, you might remember to cut yourself one of these masks, but please remember to use it. And anybody who's been in my workshop and forgotten to use it, you'll know what I mean. But look how that stamps. It's just beautiful. Now, the next stamp I'm going to use is off this lovely set called Seed Heads. And there's a solid version and a version that's open that you can colour. But I wanted to bring in a little bit of black silhouette stamping, almost for a bit of extra oomph. So I thought this was just perfect. I love this stamp. And also because of the shape, how it goes almost around the sunflower leaves. So I think I'll just have one more over that way. Beautiful. And then we're going to add our lovely bumblebee from Bumble and Hum. And he's going to come and collect that lovely nectar. So we'll pop him there. Oh, I do love him. Always have and always will. Right, so field grass. What I'm thinking is when we've coloured it in, oh, that's moved, look, but don't worry, I've got a trick for that. Let's bring in some summertime. Just to bring in those lovely orange tones when we colour the sunflower in. And this is for our lovely Melinda, who when we used Summertime at the Fairy Festival, sang us a lovely rendition of Summertime. Obviously, I can't sing. I have got a voice for, well, really nothing, but there we go. So I don't want to overcook it with the orange. So I'm just going to give the stamp a wipe now. And I know I'm going from orange to black, but I still don't want to contaminate my ink pads. So give it a wipe with my Inky Binky. Pop the lid on the Summertime. And then just want a little bit of stamping in black. And maybe some second generation, and you see how we get that lovely, we're getting depth and perspective, but we're not overdoing it. Right, if I move that, I think, yeah, I'm happy with that. I think that's just enough. Like I say, you don't want to overcook it. So we'll give that a blot. Again, remember, it's a slow drying ink. So we'll give it a nice blot. We don't want to smudge it or get any marks around here. Try and keep this white if we can. So next we've got our lovely moon mask, and as always I'm just going to turn my work round and we'll pop the moon mask there. Now, because I can see obviously where the sunflower head is, I know I won't put my ink there. Back with the truffle, but this time the number 3, and again blending in the lid. And remember, your mat, because it grips the lid, you've got your hands free. So I'm going to hold that onto the mask and then just start at the base and lightly blend some of that lovely brown. Pick a bit more up. Just move my fingers. I think I need just a bit more. And I just want this to be lovely subtle. If I move that away, look, give my fingers a wipe. And that is just enough. Now, if I'd got any harsh lines here, look, I could just come in with the ink that's on my brush and just blend that out, because I don't want harsh lines. I want that brown just to blend seamlessly. And while I'm just concentrating on the moon area, I've got my lovely pastel pencils, look. And if I get the white, and I'm just going to lean on my kitchen roll and just add, and I'm hoping you can see how some white pastel look. I'm just going to smudge that with my fingers. That just really gives that lovely effect on the moon. You could use your pan pastel. I've just got my pastel pencils at hand. And then I'm just going to come in with the dark brown, a mid brown and a fawny colour. And if you look, the black doesn't go right to the edge here. Now what I can do is get my micron pen and just take it right to the edge, just so it looks perfect. Again, we want it to look, just attention to detail is so important. But then I'm going to come in with my brown pastel, and again I'm leaning on this kitchen roll. I'm going to bring some dark brown in for a nice edge, and then just bring my light brown in and add a little bit, and then with this fawny colour I'm almost going to blend the two. Now if you need a bit of mist at the bottom, look, and I'm just going to come in with a little cotton pad and just blend. Again, you can use your fingers, you can use your pastel blenders. I'm just using what's on my table, but that makes a lovely little misty, I don't know if you can see it at the base, and it just finishes it off nicely. So we'll file those next to Eric, and then we'll add some lovely colour. So I've got my lovely pens here. So I've got my blender pen. And if I do the leaves first, I'll try and remember to tell you the colours as I'm going. So the greens I've gone for is 43 olive green and 53 yellow green. And all I would do is with the dark colour down the middle, look, and then down the stem. And then with the lighter colour, and as I say, these just are beautiful, and then the blender just to blend those edges and the colours together. The blend pen is absolutely fabulous, and we discovered at the Fairy Festival that you can use it with your Mondelez pencils as well, with them being water-based. Works beautifully. Now I just want to come in, and I often like to do this after I've blended, just come back in with a little bit of the darker colour. Right, lids on those. So Bumblebee, I'm going to start with, I've gone for 803 English Lavender. I often use blue for the wings, but I fancied bringing in some lavender tones. I don't know why, I just fancied just something a bit different. Right, our lovely sunflower head. So in the middle, I'm going to come in with a brown, and I've just gone for number 60, which is just brown. So we'll do that first. And I can pop the lid on. And then for the actual sunflower itself, I'm going to use number 50, which is yellow, number 70, which is orange, and 23, which is scarlet red. But I must admit, I just thought it was a deep orange. And I'm going to just start in the middle with this lovely scarlet red. And what's lovely is it almost blends with the brown as well. Then I'm going to come in with the lighter orange. And while I'm at it, I'll add some orange on our lovely Bumblebee. And then add the yellow. And as I say, I'm just amazed how it covers over the colours on the gel press. Not only does it cover beautifully, but often if you've got an area light and dark and you want an even colour, it's not easy to do. Now in with my lovely blender, and I'm just going to blend these colours. And what's lovely with this, I don't know if you've noticed, if I've not gone to the edge, my blender takes it to the edge. But also if I've missed one of the petals underneath, look, I can just colour it in now with the blender. So it really is a lovely way of getting a very good effect. But just clean that now. But if you haven't got a lot of time, it's effective and quick. And you know me, I do like a nice bit of, I call it cheats colouring, but it's not really. But, you know, if you've got all day and you want to spend your time colouring, oh my goodness, you just enjoy it. But, you know, if you need a quickish result, I'm just coming, I do like to play. There we go. And if I can lift that a bit closer for you, not sure if you can see, I just think that is stunning. And it almost looks quite 3D. So we'll pop those lids on. I will list all the colours, so do check those out. So now it's just a couple of little finishing tricks. And what we're going to do is I've got this lovely, now it's a Zig. It's a little bit like a Posca pen, but this one's made by Zig. And it's called, please don't judge me on my pronunciation, Mangaka Opaque Liner. And this one is, has it got a size? White. And you can buy them individually, or there is a set. And again, you give them a shake. But I've found if you struggle with white pens, this does give a lovely result. And I'm going to use it straight away. Often with the Posca, I found, as you know, I love my Posca pens, but I found I have to wait. I can't add highlight straight away. But this I found does do lovely white highlights. I'm not going to overdo it. So I'm happy with this. I love that. One of my new purchases. I like a bit of a new purchase. Yellow sparkly Posca. You know I'm in love with this one. So some lovely yellow down there. And then we'll turn it round. Again, make it easy for myself. Save me stretching across. Pop the little mask. And then we can have some lovely yellow around the bee. And then lastly, we just need a little sentiment. but I'm so happy with that. Look at those colours. So, sentiment stickers, and we're going for the vintage colour. So, live and learn. Oh, breaking through. I know, keep moving forward, because I think my little bumblebee, you keep moving forward. Keep collecting that nectar. Now, let's have a look. I think it's got to be in the middle down here, hasn't it? And I'm just going to go around with my black fine liner, and I've picked the brown up. I don't want the brown, I want the black. There we go. And I'm just going to do a little line and then a dot in each corner, just to be different. 4 lines, 4 dots. And there we have that beautiful gel press background, but look how that flower really pops by using the clean colour pens. And remember, we've got that extra background, so I'm going to stamp that up now. But this actually, if you wanted to save it, you could, a day when Mr. Mojo's gone, you've got a background ready. But I can't wait, I'm too excited. I want to stamp mine up now. So, oh look, the sunflowers are quite different. This is more orange. This one seems to have gone more yellow. So I hope you've enjoyed that. I really do. And please have a go. If you've got your gel press, this will be an ideal background for you to make and then stamp and colour in. And you know what? If you send your cards to your friends, it's a lovely one to do because they'll be asking you how you've done this. So as always, thanks for joining me. Please tag me in if you create something and share it. We love to see your designs. And also your designs will inspire fellow crafters. And that's what it's about. It's about sharing. As the boys would say, the little grandchildren, they always keep saying, Grandma, sharing is caring. So enjoy your evening and I will pop back again tomorrow. Much love and hugs from me. Bye for now.